Greetings everyone, my name is Adderville, and welcome to my Let's Try Cecconoid, an 8-bit inspired retro twin-stick shooter developed and published by AAA. This was released back in early October of this year. For full disclosure, I received a key from the developers through Keymailer in order to Let's Try this title. And before I begin, an important warning. This game contains flashing images that could potentially trigger seizures for people with photosensitive epilepsy. This is your last warning. So let's start Cecconoid. I'll be playing this game using a controller. As this is my first impressions, I apologize in advance for any silly mistakes or false assertions I make. So here's the storyline of this game. Stardate 15th of April 2088. The starship Equinox is under attack from Stormlord and his robotic minions, the Exolons. You're the crew's only hope. Take your Samurai-1 fighter, find Captain Solomon's key, clear the decks of evil robots, and save the Equinox from certain destruction. Much easier said than done though, as we are a one-hit point wonder, started with 3 lives, and a basic pea-shooter. This game's quote-unquote 2-bit aesthetic is interesting. It reminds me of Downwell in that way. So that upgraded my firepower. That increases my movement speed. Can't get past this laser beam. The controls for this game are rather simple. I just move and shoot, that's all. I'm not too sure how big the spaceship is. On the top left is our, I guess, X and Y coordinates in the current screen, and to the right of it is my current score, and to the right of that is my life counter. I'm not sure if that upgraded my weaponry though. I think it did. You're right, Jaden. This game's soundtrack does remind me a bit of Vector Man's. I wish my projectiles had more punch to them though. Right now it feels like I'm firing a pea-shooter at enemies. It seems that the only things that violate the 2-bit coloring rule are projectiles, or enemies that act like projectiles. Definitely going for a more arcadey experience. And that was an extra life. Let me see what's up over here first. Yeah, I'll go back there in the future. Oh goody, missile launchers. At least I can despawn them by exiting and re-entering the same screen. But when I do so, it doesn't reset the enemy's health. No. Even though I can destroy the red bullets with my projectiles, it's still a bit scary. I guess these are mortal enemies then. Oh, whoa. These enemies don't exactly reset when I exit and re-enter the room. The sound effects for this game are really subdued. I guess it's done so we can enjoy the music more. Here's my first stat. Now I'm down to 1 firepower. Wait, how did it get through there? Must have looped right through. Oh, there's a hole in the center. Well, at least I ran out of firepower. Well, the devs already said that this game wasn't going to be easy. Now this weapon sounds better. I sure hope this game has continues, or some sort of checkpoint system. It'd be a shame if I get sent back to the beginning of the game. I just have full of shield. Hang on a minute, this is near the beginning of the game. But now the electric barrier has disappeared. Once again, I'm thankful to the devs that the projectiles are colored red. The projectiles and bomb type enemies. Again, the missile enemies are really dangerous. This is where I wish my projectiles were bigger. Now I'm down to level 2. Even though I like my shield, the problem is it doesn't work well against explosive enemies, because by the time it gets close to my shield, the explosion radius will most likely hit me. Game over. Again, shooting down projectiles is harder than it looks. 9th place, that isn't too bad. Oh, and I'm sent all the way back to the beginning. It's one of these arcade games. Let's hope run number 2 works out better for me. Although I realized I could speedrun this by skipping the rooms that are not necessary. Oh sure, the game starts out fairly straightforward, but once you get the introduction of those missile launchers, it suddenly gets a lot more difficult. The game's map layout is the same per run though, so you can memorize the optional and mandatory areas. I really hope one of the potential upgrades is bigger projectiles. That's kind of jerkish to place that mine there, when you immediately enter the room. Yet again, I wish the room transitions were a bit nicer. Also, I wish that room transitions weren't that generous. I keep accidentally transitioning over to another room when I don't want to. I was 2 lone lives anyways. Frankly feels the ship is gimped without the double shot, at the very least. See, my main gripe right now are with the placement of certain enemies, particularly the mines. I feel the ship doesn't move fast enough to counteract the fast explosions, as well as how fast the projectiles come out. Well, unless you know where they are in advance. Now, if I had more precise aiming, this wouldn't be as bad, but I can only fire in 8 different directions, and because my projectiles are small, it means that hitting the enemy projectiles is much harder. Frankly, I wish the ship always started out with 1 speed upgrade. I also wish the pause menu showed which power-ups I currently have. Yet again, I feel those projectiles should be slowed down. Well, unless this is going for one of those old school arcade experiences. I pushed my luck too far. Saw my sneak through there. I'm gonna say it again, I don't like the base pea-shooter. Well, at least these turrets can run out of ammo. I confirmed that. See, my main gripes with the game are how weak you start out, especially when you lose all your upgrades, and more specifically, some of the enemy positions, especially the mines. Combined with how fast you move into the rooms, you don't have much time to react to stuff. It makes the game feel more like a trial and error experience, which to be honest, several arcade games were exactly that. The game is simplistic, sure, but boy is it difficult. I love my shield, it's just that it doesn't work against explosive enemies. Not as effectively, basically. At last I made it past the point where I game overed, after gaming over 2 or 3 more times. I didn't realize I could blow them up, actually. Two rapid-firing lasers. Wonderful. Now watch how fast I'll lose it. I'm starting to think that W1 actually means World 1, not WIT 1 or something else. I knew the game would pull off something like this. That's why I had my finger on reverse. I could see what's to the left, but it's a tad too risky for me. Okay, who shot me there? That one. This is gonna be a bit of a painful room to go through. I need to clear out those mines first before I can hit the missile launcher. Kinda safer that way. And there's the exit at this stage, I guess. Oh, dead lasers. Game, could you please spawn me next to my own weaponry? This is simply just Kaizo behavior. Once I lost my weaponry, I was dead. There's no way I can survive that because I'm reset to the start of the room. I want to like this game, but things like this are really pulling on me. I get they're from the classic arcade era, but these are some of the things I'm glad to be rid of from the arcade era, outside of very trial and error games and more Kaizo experiences. I'm sorry if I sound too harsh on this game. I want to like this, but it's clearly designed for a different audience, a much more hardcore audience. Now let's try out the other mode, which is called Ugatron. This one's just straight up arcade shooter action. 50 different levels of this. Most likely using the same base enemy set from the base game, along with all the power-ups and weaponry. That's why this game has an epilepsy warning sign. There's no way to disable these flashes either, unless you hack the game. Well, that ends that. This was challenge mode after all. So my overall thoughts on this are that it's really designed for a arcade-loving niche. This game is one of the harder arcade games of playing, and it doesn't pull its punches at all. If you game over before reaching the end of the world, you're sent all the way back to the beginning of the world, and each world can take up to 10 to 15 minutes to complete, and are not easy to just go through. Not to mention your base weaponry and movement speed straight up sucks, especially your base weapon. I'd also advise to increase the punchiness of the sound effects, as they feel like they're rather subdued, and they feel rather weak. It feels like I'm firing a pea-shooter at enemies, whereas they have the better weaponry. And once again, do not play this game if you have photosensitivity. This will be painful on the eyes and may trigger epilepsy. So my apologies, developers. Thank you for providing me with a key, but this just didn't appeal to me. It feels a bit too trial and error for me, and the base skill it's expecting is higher than what I can provide. Nevertheless, I wish the best of luck to developers in their future ventures. Well then, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Toodles!